AJ, man, it's been a while. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while for obvious reasons, dude.
Here we
So
are.
yeah, let's get
Yeah.
started, man. So I'm 50-50 on Randall at this point. I mean, on one
Okay.
hand, I appreciate him
Yes.
questioning everything. On the other hand, he's kind of a jerk. So what's the fan reaction been like for you though from the family?
I mean, it's look, Randall is like a specific cup of tea. You know what I mean? Like, and if I was in his shoes, I don't think I'd be too sort of preoccupied with what people think of me, And I feel like I don't know, I feel like yeah, some people kind of get where Randall's coming from a little bit, but then some people don't like the fact that he's shaking things up and they have their favorites, but Randall just doesn't care, man. Randall's got his thing, he wants to get some answers and get out. So yeah. It's a bit of 50-50, as you said, I think, really.
Yeah, I go back and forth, and I'm sure that
Yeah.
I've seen some of that from fans too. Now we've
Yeah.
seen him speaking of questioning things, whether or not somebody in the town is in on this whole thing. Like somebody's got to know something's going
Mm,
on. Are you
yeah.
kind of surprised though that nobody's kind of turned that back on him yet? And said, hey, you talk about this a lot. What if it's you?
I mean, look, the way I see it, these people don't talk to each other anyway. So it's like maybe that would be a good question to ask, but who knows? I mean, thing is with Randall, it's like he knows what he's about, right? And he's seeing all these people for what they are. And I think in his view, everybody else is a little bit too preoccupied with playing house, and he's actually taking a fresh perspective on things. So, but yeah, maybe he's part of the thing that he thinks is happening, or maybe not. You just never know.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like he, in a weird way, is one of the more authentic people in the town?
Dude, 100%. Like I see the people and these other characters interacting with. Yeah, I think what you see is what you get, and I think that's refreshing and it rubs people up the wrong way. But if you ask him a question, he'll give you an honest answer, as we've seen, throughout the season so far. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, right? So
That is very, very true. And that is one thing I love about him. I will say that. That's one
yeah,
thing I do love about him for sure.
yeah, man.
So let's talk about what's going on with Jim for a little bit, because
Mm,
it's been a very interesting dynamic between the two of
yes.
them. And we see that things are kind of starting to slowly escalate. Do you think he kind of sensed that maybe Jim was a bit vulnerable and decided to maybe start manipulating him? Or was it more of like a common search for answers kind of thing? Because he hasn't been an ally guy up to this point.
Yeah, I think the thing is with that whole Randall Jim dynamic, I think Randall can respect the fact that Jim is quite intelligent, and I think given given the audience that Jim's given him, he can kind of work out to some degree that there's something mutually beneficial to having that kind of a relationship, and I don't think Randall would be have relationships with anybody in that town if he can help it. But I think with Jim, there's something that he might be able to get out of it, and if he can get someone singing from the same hymn sheet, as it were, I think it could be more beneficial. So maybe I don't know if it's manipulation per se. It's more about a mutual interest, you know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I could see that for sure.
yeah.
Now we saw the drone get introduced in
Mm.
the picture so far. So yeah, of course, no spoilers, but is this going to be a game changer a little bit? Because I mean, having a drone in a place like this, I feel like could be very beneficial.
I mean, what I will say is the drone is useful for these guys trying to get some answers. I will say that up to a point. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, see that he can't say much more, and I know why he can't say much more.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later on, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So AJ, I love the Randall Donna scenes. I really kind of can't get
Dude.
enough of the two of them. Can you talk about those scenes a little
Mate.
bit and what's it been like working with Elizabeth? Because I feel like they just butt heads so well, and I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Honestly, man, like working with Liz is great because yeah, just whenever we share the screen, there's never a dull moment, and it's always this high octane kind of pressure. These two characters that are super stubborn and super like they just know themselves, right? And yeah, I don't know. Every time just doing, what the writers have written, it's just I just like the drama and it's high energy and it's kind of it's extra, but it's just fun to play those dramatic moments in life, man. Because sometimes life's pretty boring, right? Just whenever it's like Randall and Donna just doing this, it's like yeah, it's good. Scratches the itch, you know what I mean?
Do you think it's also good because I mean we've not really seen too many people challenge Donna on the show up to this point? Do you think it's
Mm,
good to have somebody get up in her face a little bit, maybe ask these tough questions, even if it
yeah.
is not maybe the nicest approach?
Well, absolutely, man. I mean, like any good piece of drama or whatever, you're going to need some sort of catalyst for change or some sort of antagonist. You know what I mean? And then, like, yeah, shaking up the status quo is always a fun thing to play. But as you know, as an audience member myself for various things, it's like I like seeing that. You know, and who knows where that will go, right? So.
Oh, who knows where that will go? Indeed. I do have to
Yeah.
ask you though, before I let you go, AJ.
Huh.
There's very few that know that one of the monsters has been killed. We know that, but what do you think the reaction would be if that secret gets out, especially from Randall? Because I can, if he finds out, bro,
Dude,
like,
I mean, if we're talking character wise, I think if Randall finds out that these things can be killed, I mean, he's gonna go and get his rifle and be like, right, let's suit up and let's go get him. You know, I think that's the kind of person that he is. But also on the flip side of that, I think that maybe in order for damage control, it would be more prudent for the townsfolk to not let him know that because I don't think he's the kind of guy to listen to authority anyway. But then in that sort of I think it would just be a recipe for conflict. Let's put it that way. But yeah.
well, neither one of us are going to spoil anything, but I can tell you that this coming weekend's episode is a big one for
Right.
Randall for sure. Make sure I'm serious now. Watch this live. Don't go on social media and have this thing spoiled for you. It's going to be big. And this guy's got
Yes.
big things coming. I mean, every Sunday night, obviously. But AJ Simmons,
Yeah.
Randall, man, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. I really
Thanks, bro.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. You take care, man.